welcome back to Fix My AG Doll. My name is Sarah, and I'm frustrated because I recorded this video 2 weeks ago, and when I uploaded it to Google Drive wiped out all of the audio. So, it's where we're at. So, welcome. I am very excited about this video. It's something I've been thinking about for a very long time. If you're new to this channel, you may not know that really most of my content, if not all of it up to this point, is really focused on the historical collection from Pleasant Company and now American Girl. And that's really where, the heart and soul of my collection is and what's driving my American Girl collecting to date. But that doesn't mean that I don't like Girl of the Year. I actually really like Girl of the Year. I think it's a really smart idea. And when it works really well. Yeah, I'd call myself like a Girl of the Year lurker because I don't really collect per se for Girl of the Year yet. Right now, that's just not where I'm at in my life. So yeah, Girl of the Year lurker is kind of how I describe myself. I haven't read any of the books. I'm thinking about doing that towards the end of the year. This year is like just read all of their books and just get to know them. Yeah, there's been a lot of drama regarding Girl of the Year, and I wanted to wait until the Summer McKinney of it all kind of died down before kind of doing a retrospective on Girl of the Year. And I really wanted to wait because there was a lot of emotions about her release and a lot of very strongly held opinions. Let's put it that way. Strongly held opinions about her collection, mostly about how it's so much worse than previous collections. And as someone who hasn't necessarily collected the Girl of the Year, and so again, from a lurker perspective, I found some of the comments to be true, but a lot of it I'm like, I don't know. I think that might be blowing Girl of the Year out of proportion. I think that there was a certain era of Girl of the Year that was very maximalist, but I don't necessarily think that's a good thing. And yeah, we'll get into the thoughts of that. And really, this is a chit-chatty video. I will have pictures of catalogs throughout the years in here. So if you like to look at, the visuals, it is up here. Unfortunately, I couldn't find pictures of all of the catalogs. I'll put the links down below to the websites that I use to actually find the catalogs. I'm so grateful for people who do, the digitization and preservation of these kinds of things because it's really important. And I'm, just so immensely grateful to the people who take the time to do that. But yeah, not all of the catalogs from I think the 2010s are on there. So yeah, I apologize for that. I took Wiki's pictures in place of the catalog pictures for those cases. But yeah, this is really, chit-chatty. Let's look at what Girl of the Year has been. Let's do a full retrospective timeline. If you don't care about visuals, feel free to walk away, do whatever you need to do. Happy to have you here. Yeah, let's dive in. So, like I mentioned with Summer McKinney, and this is kind of the lens that I want us to go through and look at all these other collections. So these are the main comments that I personally was gleaning from conversations. And there may be other things too that people dislike about her. Feel free to chime down in the comments if you don't like her, why you don't like her. But her collection is geared towards really young children. Her collection is small. Her collection has lots of plastic. Her interests are repetitive, and her story is uninteresting. So I haven't read her story, so I don't think it's fair to comment on stories and whether they're interesting or uninteresting based on just what it says on the back of a book. So I won't be commenting on that, and I won't be commenting on any of these Girl of the Year stories because I haven't read them, and I don't think it's fair to make assumptions just based off of what you read online about what's in a book. Yeah, so let's have that framework in mind as we go through here. And when I was putting all of this together, I kind of felt like there were 4 distinct eras thus far for Girl of the Year. So first is finding their footing. So this was, right at the beginning where our Girl of the Year was new. They weren't really sure what to actually put in it and how to market it, and yeah. Then we got to the trend setting era, which is, in my opinion, when American Girl was actually setting trends, and was on the forefront of fashion and of toy design and storytelling, things like that. Storytelling through the pieces, I mean. And then Motherlode collections is the next one, which, in my opinion, are these giant collections with lots of stuff in them. A lot of it being, let's just say quantity doesn't mean quality. And then reactionary collections, so a little too late. And this is in response to, yes, like social societal pressures, but also in terms of the fashion trends and overall vibes and looks of the collections. So let's start off with finding their footing. Probably unsurprisingly, the first, American Girl, Lindsay Bergman, fits in here. So she had a very tiny collection, right? They really didn't understand yet what was gonna go in here. So she really just had a couple of accessories here and there. She's a cute doll, and up to that point she looked very different. And of course with these first few, we can't comment on whether or not they're repetitive, because they're the first ones, so they can't be repeating things. Besides the appearance, right? Like the classic face mold was used several times in a row in the beginning. But yeah, I also personally think that Lindsay is very childish, and not necessarily in like a bad way. That's not putting any valence on that word. When I say childish, when we're talking about toys, like, of course toys are going to be childish. So for me, Lindsay is dressed, and I was like a child in this age. In 2001, I would have been 6. She's dressed more like a 5 or 6 year old, in my opinion, than a 9 or 10 year old. Like, this is clothes that I would have been wearing in kindergarten, not what I remember older kids wearing. So I think right off the bat, Lindsay was geared towards younger children, in terms of the aesthetics. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but I don't think she was cool. And I think that the sales kind of showed that. They had a really hard time offloading Lindsay. We, of course, then have Kaylee. So here's our beautiful 18-inch spread. And here's it turned around. So of course we have the classic face mold, and now Kaylee has a little bit more of like developed hobbies. So we're seeing that kind of like finding the footing where it's kind of like in your face now that she's a beach girly. And of course we're gonna see beach as the personality for many of an American Girl of the Year. She has some things. She has the dog, she has the surfboard. Yeah, I think her outfits, this is one of the few Girl of the Years that I've actually had in my hands, felt the things. I think they're pretty quality. There's certainly plastic in it, but it's pretty decent. It's not a huge collection, but I think it is cute. And again, can't be repetitive so far. I do think that Kaylee actually looks like she's about like 9 or 10 years old. And again, I'm going to be going through the lens of like what were 9, 10-year-olds wearing in that specific time period. So yeah, I think that she passes that check. But now we're moving on to the trend setting era. So I think that this is, for a lot of people, the joy of collecting Girl of the Year comes from. Not all of them. There's certainly like ones throughout all the remaining ones. You know, this isn't a hard and fast rule, but I think that a lot of people, when they picture Girl of the Year, it's this era and the one after it. So, of course, Marisol is our first trendsetter. And I think, you know, if you look at this outfit, it really is a trend-setting outfit, right? Like, this is like what the cool girlies were wearing. I certainly remember, so by this point I was like in 5th grade, I certainly remember the cool girlies wearing these kinds of like layered tops and the capri pants. Let me turn this picture around. She has all of these different accessories, which I love. She's really a fashion girly. Even though fashion isn't necessarily at the forefront of her story, you can tell that she's a fashion girly, which for a fashion doll is important. And I think that there's maybe people who disagree on whether or not American Girl is a fashion doll. I think it is. Like, they sell so much fashion and are pulling like historical fashions, contemporary fashion. I think that they do constitute a fashion doll personally. And she has lots of different outfits. They really hit you over the head with the fact that her personality is dance. So this is still the era where they have one passion and they're really hitting you over the head with it. And she has a lot of really cute things. I will say that this outfit in particular, the performance trunk outfit, like with the jazz pants and jazz shoes, that outfit is super cheap. Really, really cheap, really crappy quality. I've had it in my possession before. It was very disappointed in the materials, though they were accurate to like the crappy materials that people were putting on their kids' bodies back then. So was it accurate? Yes. But was it cheap? Absolutely. Very disappointed. Those shoes fully disintegrated over time. But nonetheless, Marisol, gorgeous girly. She's giving Jenny from the block. Absolute trendsetter. Then we have Jess. So Jess is, of course, the first of the Jess molds. She's the namesake. Let's turn her around. So Jess looks very different from all of her predecessors. Her hobby is already kind of beach adjacent. She does have a lot of things that are water like activities. So we're already starting to see some repetition right off the bat. Like, she's Girl of the Year number 4, right? If I can keep count. We're already starting to see repetition there. I also think that Jess looks to be on the younger side. I don't know. I think looking at her different outfit pieces, the little monkey stuffed animal, the colors, they read a little bit more like 1st, 2nd grade to me rather than 4th, 5th, or 6th grade. And again, that's okay, but just want to point out that I think a lot of the Girl of the Years looked younger than 9, 10 years old. She did have a lot of different pieces. This hammock is absolutely gorgeous. I'm curious if you've had this or you've had it in the past. Is this plastic or like what material is this? I truly cannot tell. It's really hard for me to tell. Obviously, like the swing looks to be maybe like a terry cloth or something fabric, but I love those pajamas. Just looking through these pictures in general, pajamas are always a slay. Like, American Girl really knows how to put together a good looking pajama, and I love that. Love that for them. So yeah, Jess, I don't think her collection is the most memorable out of like the trendsetters, but I think it's like pretty well put together, and definitely on the forefront in terms of like, you know, this swing is really cool. The doll kayak, like, hello, that's incredible. I don't remember other doll brands doing things like that to this extent at that time period. We have Nikki next. And now this is like where I take a step back and like fully acknowledge I don't like country. Like, that's not my vibe. Don't like the cowgirl boot, the cowgirl aesthetic. Don't like farm life. Don't like the horseback riding life. Like, none of that is me at all. It's like the complete opposite of me. But I can acknowledge how incredible Nikki's collection is. For the people who that like speaks to them and that resonates for them, Nikki is truly a one of the like best put together girl of the year collections in my opinion. So here she is turned around. Her outfit looks to be really well put together. Again, I've never had this outfit before, so I don't know, but it looks to be really high quality fabrics. The shoes look like they're like really sturdy and well made. Her hair, it looks also very well made, very well dressed. I love that attention to detail with like the different highlights and the freckles. Even though she's another classic mold girly, I think that she looks different enough from the girl of the years thus far. And these outfits, oh my god. I mean, I'm just like so impressed. Again, is it my aesthetic? Absolutely not. I couldn't be caught dead wearing any of these outfits. But for people who like this is their bread and butter, I mean, hello. Amazing. Love like the, oh my gosh, what are they called? Okay, I'm gonna put it on the screen because I literally can't think of it right now. But and the hat, the shirt, the pants, there's so many components to it. The duffel bag, all of this looks really, really well made. The dog is also super, super cute. I will say this one like gala event outfit is kind of atrocious. I don't love this outfit. I think it looks like the pieces individually are fine, but as one outfit, it just doesn't work for me. But it does look to be pretty high quality. Her horse looks very plasticky. To me, it looks kind of like an Our Generation horse. Our Generation horses that I've seen like at Goodwill and whatnot. So I don't know about that. But on the whole, overall, really strong showing, and I do think that Nikki does look to be like a 9-10-year-old girl. This, oh my gosh, this skiing outfit, I did have to show this. Like, oh my god. I love this outfit. I think this is one of the best skiing outfits they've ever made. The color cohesiveness is immaculate. The textures that these appear to have, and yeah, she just looks incredible. It does look like a lot of plastic. Again, just pointing out, like, they've used a lot of plastic in these collections since the beginning. But it does look really well done. Mia St. Clair. I think that this doll is, like, probably one of the most popular girl of the years. I know that I personally really wanted her when I was a kid. She's beautiful. Again, classic mold, very repetitive, but at least they're doing something a little different. She does have red hair and those beautiful greenish hazel eyes, and those freckles are so cute. I love her freckle pattern. She does have a lot of different components to her meat outfit, you know, the sweater and the skirt. I do love like the tights and the shoes. And then the fact that all of those, her little meat accessories can fit into that backpack. I just love that detail. Incredible layout. Mia's collection, I think, stands out as one of the strongest. I think that there's so much attention to detail with all of her different outfits, the sweaters, the little, the tights and the sweatpants. I love it. Of course, we have the plastic ice rink. I really love that. And so my understanding is that it like spins around. I think I've seen videos of people putting their doll on and it spins around. I don't understand why they've never made something like that just like for any dolls that you could buy, like as like for a display where you can just pop your doll on and she'll turn around. I would buy that. If they have made that, let me know, because I would love to try and like find that on the secondhand market. I know that you can buy non-AG like types, but anyways, really high quality. Her bedroom setup is, I think, pretty cute. It does look to be more of like hard plastic. I don't think that it's wooden, but feel free to correct me in the comments about that. I do love her pajamas too. Ugh, so absolutely adorable. I think we can agree that Mia's collection is a standout. I mean, look at this. This ice skating outfit. I feel like we need another ice skating girly. I know that Gwen, like, ice skated in Corinne's story. I don't think Corinne did, right? Again, correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. But I think that when they do ice skating, it always, like, goes super well. And I'm personally, you're going to get the sense I'm okay with repetition because the Target brand, their population really refreshes every 4-ish years. So even though for us as collectors it might seem repetitive, so what? Like it's new to the majority of the people who are buying their things. And it's not like they're making the same ice skating outfit over and over again. There's so many cool things that you can do with it. And I just use ice skating as an example, There's so many ways that you could put together an outfit. So I would love that. Moving on to Carissa. So Carissa's outfit, I think, is incredibly cheap, and I think that she looks like a toddler. This outfit, I'm like, what? I don't remember. Again, I was around in this time period. I don't remember people wearing something so atrocious. It's like way too busy. I've had this dress in my possession before. It's not super like high quality. And I just like point that out because she literally just has like the dress, a bracelet, and the shoes. And the shoes look to be like nothing to write home about either. So yeah, I don't know. I think that she looks pretty cheap in terms of the way that she's dressed. And yeah, I'm just seeing like a lot of plastic. The big selling point here is that she has like the other best friend dolls. And Sonali's outfit is just, it's also giving toddler. It's not giving 9 or 10-year-old. I know that like the layered look was a thing, but I think that when you have it scaled down to an American Girl doll, it's just like really hard to make it look right because of the way that they're scaled. They already look like toddlers because their heads are so large in comparison to the rest of their body, which it's more similar in proportion to a toddler. And so when you put an outfit like that on an 18-inch doll like Sonali, she looks more like a toddler than a 10-year-old. And that's my opinion. It's okay if you disagree with me. But like if you look like, Gwen looks like her mom. Like Gwen looks like the mom that's babysitting Carissa and Sonali here. Gwen's outfit looks a lot more like it's geared towards older children or even adults. Carissa's outfit, that one is like, it's okay. It's like a cotton like fabric. It's fine. I do love the llama, absolutely iconic. And then she also has this giant set of like plastic sewing things, whatever they call this, her craft studio. There we go. I think it's a cute idea, but yeah, I don't think it like necessarily adds much. I mean, for like storytelling purposes, I guess, but I think it would have been cuter if like she had like some rolls of fabrics or like a form, because really now it's just a bunch of little pieces of plastic that's like on a table. So I don't think that's that great. And you may notice now that we're starting to transition into the girlies having to have multiple hobbies. So now pretty much for the rest of them, I feel like they have like their 2 things that they do. And usually it's like, here's my athletic hobby and here's my arts and crafts hobby. So Carissa does her crafting hobby and she also does swimming. Yeah. And I feel like they do that in order to try to appeal to as many children as possible. But also as a result of doing that, there's less depth in the like outfits, right? So if it had just been swimming, she could have had a lot of different types of swimming costumes or swimming accessories, but now her collection is split between the 2, Or, you know, if it was just sewing, she could have had a lot of different outfits that maybe it's like as you buy a semi-completed outfit and then you like attach the last bits and pieces to it. Or maybe there's like stuff that you can Velcro on and off to, you know, make a dress or make a skirt and feel like Chris is helping you make it. But instead, we gotta do splitsies. I will say I do love this snow tubing outfit. That is the winner, like hands down winner of her collection. Now we're moving on to the Motherlode collections, and just as a reminder, that's because their collections like get more massive and massive. So not all of them are the same, but you're gonna like see they start increasing in size, and then they will start to slowly taper off to be smaller. Starting with Lainey, I'm gonna get so much hate for this, and again, it's okay if you disagree with me, but I don't like Lainey. She just looks like a tragic 2012 like lax bro girl. I don't know. I don't like any of her outfits. And I think that people have like, you know, like the rose tinted glasses when they look at her collection, because I think that she was like the it girl when a lot of the stop motion pictures were coming around. But I'm like, oof, I don't know. It's another classic mold. We're getting the repetition. She's into animals. She has like blonde hair, green eyes, whoop-de-doo. Especially at this time, like there were so many truly me's that like looked like her, and then the side bangs, I just can't with the side, any of the dolls with side bangs, I'm like, oh my god. And I think that's like a personal thing too, because I had side bangs in that era for like way too long, and I look at pictures of myself and I'm like, why did my mother let me do this to myself? Oh my god, it looks so bad. Yeah, side bangs are tough to pull off. Anyways, we have this giant plastic camper. Yeah, it's cute. It's a cute idea, I guess, but you have just a lot of little plastic knickknacks and accessories to go in there to make it seem like she's cooking and sleeping, and yeah, I think it's okay. It's boxy. We have her hammock. God, all these outfits. I just can't with these outfits. They're like so dated. Like, and okay, so let's just unpack this right now. I think that there are certain people who are in the camp of like, I think that the outfits should be, you know, very specific to that era. And then some people who are like, no. And I am in the part that's like, no. Because there is a fine line. So you have things that are micro trends or just like ultra trends where they are very clearly, even to the people in that moment, like not gonna be cool even a couple years from that point. And there are things that people wear that kind of transcend time. Or things that are trendy at a certain point, but, you know, you're not going to look back on them and cringe. All of these outfits I'm looking at and I'm cringing that she's wearing. Yeah, like I don't understand why she doesn't have a pair of jeans, for example. Jeans are transcending time at this point. They're not going anywhere. Sure, there's different cuts of pants and jeans, but those tend to cycle through. You know, sometimes skinnier versions are cooler, sometimes boot cut, sometimes flared, and that cycles through, and that's fine. And even when, like, you know, let's say right now, like wire leg pants are cool, like people are still wearing skinny jeans. And even though people will argue about it online, like in real life, no one's gonna bat an eye. And so, you know, having something like a pair of pants like that, in my opinion, is a better approach than wearing these long cami dress type things with very opposing patterns and these really long shorts that are pretty much just from this era. I don't know. That's just me personally. Yeah, I'm just not a fan of this at all. And yeah, this outfit is okay, the one with like the blue boots. As a whole, I think the outfit is really confusing and weird, but the individual pieces I think could be reworked to look a lot better. Anyways, moving on to Kanani. So Kanani, I think a lot of people really like her collection. I think she's okay. I think she falls in the middle for me in terms of likability. Her meat dress, very basic. It's just a dress with a necklace and a pair of sandals. And, you know, that's something that pretty much the girl of the years recently are just like coming with. Like, it's just a very basic outfit. And I think that, again, like a lot of the discourse with Summer is like, her meat outfit is so like basic. She like barely even has anything. And I'm like, she has the same amount of stuff as like Kanani. Is it maybe not your aesthetic? Sure, but it's the same amount of stuff as the dolls were coming out with, starting with Krissa. So I don't really know where that's coming from. Here she is turned around. I think her dog's really cute too. And I will say, you know, at least we are getting another, you know, the Jess mold back in. But yet again, we have another girly whose, say it with me, personality is beach. Yeah, I mean, she lives in Hawaii. I guess, you know, that fits. It is a little bit reductive. Like, there are people in Hawaii who their entire personality isn't beach. Most people, in fact. I wish there would have been a little bit more creativity there, but that's just me. And I think that I'm especially salty because then we got Nenea, and Nenea's entire personality is pretty much beach as well. And I'm like, does American Girl think that everyone who lives in Hawaii just hangs out on the beach all day and has literally no other hobbies? Asking for a friend. Anyways, lots of plastic, as you can see on the screen, on their entire plastic fruit display, which is still really cute. It's absolutely cute, but in my opinion, it's not very much different than like Summer's like little cupcake or pup treat, whatever display. I think it's like pretty much the same concept. You have a stand, it's entirely plastic, and there's a lot of little fruits or foods, accessories, and they're all pretty much plastic. More beach gear. Yeah, I think it's fine. I do really love this like seating setup. I think that that's really well made. It looks to me to be cloth, and obviously the legs look plastic, but let me know if I'm wrong about that. And I love that her PJs kind of match that. And I think that the standout piece from her collection is this luau set. Beautiful colors. I think she really pops in these colors. Love to see the jewel tones on her. Yeah, and I think that really helps pull the collection up. And then, yeah, this dress is like, okay, the gladiator sandals. I don't understand that. And it's so funny to me that like American Girl with like the birthstone outfit, like some of them have gladiator sandals. I'm like, do you not realize we were done with those like 10 years ago? I don't understand. And I don't think that those are necessarily going to like make a big comeback because like they're so uncomfortable and so impractical. I think, you know, they only lasted in the trend cycle for like literally like a year, like because people were like, these are such a pain and they're uncomfortable and like my legs are losing circulation. Anyways, the ukulele's a cute ad too. Moving on to McKenna Brooks. I think this outfit, I think most people, this is not controversial, her meat outfit sucks. It's really cheap. It's just, you know, polyester leggings with a polyester dress and these ugly shoes. Like, yeah, pretty disappointing. We have Josefina mold with blonde hair, blue eyes. The one cool thing, I think, let's turn her around, is that she has no part. I know that people who like to style hair, like when there's no part, it just makes it, gives you more flexibility to do what you want. Speaking of flexibility, she is a gymnast, and she's the first gymnast. So, yeah, I mean, I'm kind of surprised that it took them this long to realize they could do a gymnastics girly. But yeah, here we are. Her outfits, what is that? What is she wearing? The gymnastics outfits are fine, but like, what is this umbrella outfit, the school outfit? By the time that she came out, like, this was already not very cool. I don't really understand that. But yeah, we have like this whole gymnastics sets. You have all these different gymnastics outfits. This giant bed set, which I think that this is metal, which props to them for that. But of course, like most of the other pieces there are plastic. I don't understand this denim dress either with the pink shoes. Those shoes are giving me the creeps. It's okay. I feel like her collection's in the bottom third for me. Again, I think that the gymnastics pieces here are really nice. I do like this gymnastics outfit. I will say American Girl really does well with making the athletic pieces to the outfit. I think where they struggle more with collections is the more creative pieces. Like, by creative, I mean like the creative hobbies. I think that they haven't, still to this day, really found their footing with how to make outfits and accessories that are meaningful to that and really shine. Moving on to Sage. Sage's meet outfit is extremely basic. Let's turn her around. Here she is. It's just a dress and boots. Very, very basic. It's of the time, but I guess it's given that it has like this kind of like Western influence with the beading, I'll give her a pass there. I don't think that her collection is as strong as Nikki's. And I have to compare it to Nikki, right? Like, now we're in my personality is horse. So I guess horse and art. And again, here we have like the things, the outfits and the pieces pertaining to the more athletic, meaning the horseback riding here, is much stronger than the creative, which is her art. I just think that her cowgirl outfit is not as strong as like Nikki's was. I think the boots aren't as well done. I think the hat looks really cheap. I don't understand why they didn't give her like a proper cowgirl hat. That's kind of weird to me. And yeah, the outfit that's with like all like the tribal print for the art outfit, it's very Tumblr era, of that era specifically. I definitely had a sweater that was exactly like that, except it was like black, white, and blue. And yeah, I got rid of it after like 2 years because it was already like cringe. So, and then the hot air balloon. Why? This is like why I'm like, this is one of the epitomes of the Motherlode collections, because who needs a hot air balloon for their doll? Like, I see these come up on the secondhand market so much because it's like, yeah, what are you gonna do with it? Like, what is the fun of the hot air balloon? You put your doll in and then you like go woo, and then that's it. Like, there's not that much creativity that can be done with that. I don't understand it. I feel like they really should have delved deeper into, having more of the art pieces like represented. And I don't know why they don't have, like, for these creative ones, like kind of like an interactive, like, let's do it together kind of vibe. This outfit also, I don't like that glitter on the front. I don't like the shoes. Yeah, very odd to me. Cute pajamas though. Cute pajamas. But yeah, this is just kind of like, to me, like the epitome of, why are we doing this? There's no point in like making accessories that don't really serve a proper like function that's, has longevity value to it. Moving on to Isabel. She is a mix and match girly, so she has a lot of different pieces that are all like cheap polyester that you mix and match together. I think that her outfits are also very of the time as well, and not so great of a way. I think that this is a prime example of like, quantity is not the same as quality. They really gave her a lot of pieces, but then, like, as you can see, and they just don't really look very good. I don't think that they looked very good in her year, and I don't think that they look very good now. I do really like the ballerina sets. Again, they do like the more costumey things really well, but in terms of like her regular practice sets, they don't look very good. The denim jacket is okay, I guess. And then, yeah, it's just all a bunch of plastic. I think that especially like this hairdressing set is so atrocious because I'm like, okay, you upcharge so much on things that kids could literally get in the dollar store. Like it's rubber bands and some stickers. That's weird. Moving on to Grace Thomas already. Grace Thomas is the poster child for the most overconsumption of like a girl of the year. This girly has so many things. Yeah, it's a lot. And I think that a lot of people like look at Grace's collection and are like, this is what American Girl should aspire to. And I disagree. I think that it's very overconsumptive. I think that there's so much plastic in this collection. Does it look nice? Sure, a lot of it does, but it's too much. It's just too much. I don't like her meat outfit. I think it's really like a weird American take on Parisian fashion when no one in like Paris would actually like wear this outfit. It's already like starting to be like 5 years behind what was actually on trend at that time. I like her outfit with like the shorts and the red sweater. That's probably people's like most favorite outfit. I think that's a great example of like, that is a very, like 2013 to 2016 era outfit, but it doesn't read as like cringe because these outfit pieces, it's a red sweater with a little collar. Like, even though it has like that big logo on it, and big logos were like a very big thing then, like you can still dress it up and it will still look fine later on. And then, it's a black pair of shorts. That's gonna look fine moving forward as well. And flats come in and out of style, but they come in and out of style, so eventually they'll come back around. And given that these are supposed to be heirloom dolls, that's really important to me. Like, if this is something that you're supposed to pass down to like the next generation, you want these pieces to not feel extremely dated, where like the next generation looks at it and they're like, what am I supposed to do with that? Again, that's just my opinion, and it's okay if you disagree with me. But yeah, so many plastic pieces here. We have her little cart where she's selling a bunch of things. We have her little seating area, all of her little luggage, and of course the giant bakery with all the little plastic pieces. Yeah, to me, I'm just like, this is so much. It's just a lot for a character who's just supposed to be around for 1 year. It's just a lot of plastic. Let's just leave it at that. But yeah, again, really like the red outfit, and PJ's cute as always. Moving on to Leah. So she has I think, pretty decent collection, like out of all of these in this era. I think she has one of the stronger ones because a lot of her pieces, again, they're of the time, but for the most part, I think are translatable to later subsequent years. And if somebody looked at it 20 years afterwards, they wouldn't be like, ugh, what is this piece? Maybe with the exception of this pink shirt in the top right corner. She has, I think, a pretty decent mix of things. Again, we have a lot of plastic, but we also have like other materials as well, which I appreciate. Like her, I think this is like a camelback for hiking, and the towel, the hammock. Again, we see a lot of plastic, but it's integrated with other materials more so than some of the other collections. She has all these cute little plushies. Yeah, I do think that they charge way too much for these plushies, but at least they're a different animal. I actually really like when the Girl of the Years have a travel aspect to them. I know that they're, American Girl dolls, but I'm like, okay, Americans travel. So what? Like, I think it's cool to integrate other cultures and show travel in these stories, especially since the target demographic is like wealthy children anyways. They're probably traveling too, and so, it can help bridge that gap for them as well, of like understanding what are expectations of a child when they travel, what kinds of things can you see and do in other countries. It offers that kind of like learning opportunity. And for like children whose families don't have the means to travel around the world, it also gives them an opportunity to like see the world through the eyes of like another American child, and kind of see, what it might be like for them if they could go to these places and have these kinds of adventures, and offer, some of that kind of imagination exploration. Now we're moving on to reactionary collections. A little too late. Of course, starting with Gabriella. I'm not going to get into all the details of Gabriella's controversy. I think that's been said so many times. It's extremely clear. So really, I'm going to focus on the fact that because her collection was clearly rushed, clearly put together, it also relies on a lot of plastic, and it's clear that her outfit pieces were also rushed because they're not great. These outfits are just, let's just say no one's really fighting over these outfits. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, her sets are okay, but you just see a lot of little teeny tiny plastic pieces, and, pretty much a reused mold for the bed for Gabriella, except McKenna's looked to be metal and Gabriella's definitely looks plastic in the pictures. But let me know down in the comments, are they both metal? Or am I just imagining things? I'm very, very curious. But yeah, long story short with Gabriella, it's clear that she was created in reaction to what people were saying online. Not a lot of thought put into her. And as a result, we have a lot of fashions that are unfashionable, even for that time period, and a lot of plastic. Moving on to Luciana. I think Luciana is like the poster child for this era, because I think American Girl wanted something to do with STEM, and now at this point we are in 2018, and like the height of the Galaxy trend had been over for like 3 years at that point. Galaxy print stuff was no longer cool. And if you look back at like YouTube videos of people like unboxing and be reacting to her collection for the first time, they're like, what is she wearing? And I agree, like, what is she wearing? That Galaxy outfit is like, it's a great example of something that just did not age well even a few years it didn't even age well when it was released. But like, let's say she had come out in 2015 when that was actually popular, still wouldn't have been cool like a few years later, and that's a problem to me. This space station, it's so silly to me. It's so silly to me, because to me, a girl of the year should be realistic, right? Like, it should be something that children should and can aspire to actually do in their everyday life. And that's what we've seen up to this point. Like, it's not unrealistic for a child to learn how to bake. It's not unrealistic for a child to go kayaking, to go horseback riding, all of these things. Space station? What? Really? Like, we couldn't have had like much more interesting like planetary setups, or more like better put together telescope setups, or computers and things like that. Like, this is just very odd to me, and I think it's also riding on the heels of like girl boss era, and it's just hitting you over the head too hard with it. Yeah, like all of this like plastic junk like could have been made so much better if they took the money away from that giant space station and actually like then put it towards, let's have these, this telescope and these science sets like have like metal pieces and wooden pieces, and feel much more realistic to what a science lab actually feels like. Yeah, that's my 2 cents there. Moving on to Blair. Blair's outfits are extremely hit or miss. Like this pink and purple outfit, don't understand what that's about. But the outfit with the little boots, the rain boots, that is a killer outfit. The blue dress is killer. Absolutely love that. I think her meet outfit is very simple but very effective. That style and cut of dress was very popular in 2019. And, if they had chosen a certain pattern, that could have aged poorly, but they chose a very simple pattern with just like little bees. And so it's going to age very well. I think this set was very, very popular. But again, it's all plastic. I think it's very well done. I think it's very aesthetically beautiful. And it's also a bunch of plastic. Love the pig, love the lamb. I wish that if they re-release Felicity ever, I hope that they would make Posey like this cute little stuffed animal type thing rather than like what she was before, because this is way cuter. For Joss, she has a lot of different outfits. Personality beach, personality cheerleading. I was like surprised that it took this long to like have a cheerleading character, honestly, since given how like popular cheer and Poms is in the US. But yeah, her outfits are on the whole actually like I think pretty decent. I think that her collection is pretty strong. I think this outfit with the overall kind of dress, so cute. Love that outfit. I think her swimwear outfits are also very cute. Yeah, I think Joss's collection is pretty decent. The van, the big plastic van is what people really ogle over. Love the Volkswagen like tie-in. It's so funny to me. Personally, I like don't get the hype over it and like how much it costs on the secondhand market. But I will, say it's a cute creative piece, and I think that in comparison to like Lainey's, for example, it's much better executed. For Kira, we have her Australian jet-setting adventure. I think that she has, a very heavy emphasis on animals, and that relied on like overcharging children's parents for stuffed animals is really what her collection came down to. The canopy is pretty cute. I think it's, in my opinion, it looks better quality than like Leah's, but some of these outfit choices are also like, again, like reactionary. This romper piece, for example, is a little bit dated for that time period. Moving on to Corinne, we are flying through these at this point. I personally think Corinne's was a pretty strong collection. I don't understand why she didn't like sell that well. I don't know if they put in too many orders. I mean, a lot of it is probably also due to the fact that the economy in the US at this point is starting to really struggle, and so people don't have as much disposable income for these very expensive sets for dolls. But anyways, I think that her skiing outfit is great, her pajamas are great, her hiking outfit, the leggings are weird, but the top portion is cute. The outfit on the bottom left, I love the top portion again, the bottom portion, the leggings. I don't think American Girl does leggings very well. Gwen is very cute. I think that was a really cute idea. I really wish that she had gotten like more attention. Corinne's whole collection, because I think out of the ones in this era, hers is like the strongest and I think the most creatively put together. Like this set seems really nice. Again, I've watched a lot of YouTube videos of people who have these, and this seems to like stand out from like the past 10 years of stuff that we've seen so far as like much more high quality and a lot of thought put behind it. But let me know in the comments if you disagree. For Covey, we have our theater kid. We have like our whole like a brand new interest for the first time in a very long time. I love that she's a theater kid. I'm not a theater kid, but I can appreciate that that's a very common interest that a lot of kids have. Yeah, I think that it's been said, she does have a lot of plastic in her collection. I also love that they did yoga. That's like absolutely iconic. I would love for them to repeat that, but have that be like a much more central aspect of a doll's story. And like for the year that they would have the girl of the year, like imagine if they did little like yoga classes where you could like bring your child and child brings their doll and like you do yoga together. There's a lot of different like yoga sets, or maybe the doll, character behind the doll is just interested in mindfulness broadly, and along with the doll you can like download like an app or something that's like mindfulness, and like you do breathing, you like do mindful eating and mindful walking and all of these different things to introduce children to mindfulness. I would absolutely love that. But anyways, back to Covey. She has a lot of colors. I personally really like her outfits. I guess that's like controversial question mark. I think that a lot of people don't necessarily like them, but I think they're really nice. I especially love this Bollywood outfit. Of course, we have the big plastic of it all, but as I've been alluding to this entire time, that's not new. Like this is pretty much a thing for all of the American Girl dolls of this era and the era prior, and we started seeing that happening in the era before that as well. Lila. Lila. She really did well, didn't she? And, I think that it has to do with the fact that she had a pretty tailored, cohesive collection. She had a very clear aesthetic. She had very clear interests, and I think those interests were executed really well. Her style isn't necessarily my style, but American Girl did a really good job at honing in on that style. And for the most part, I think that these outfits are going to age pretty well. And she has a lot of different components to it. Of course, the stable is like all plastic. But yeah, I think Lila, also probably one of the reasons why she was really popular is because she does look older. And I think that she looks a lot older than pretty much all of the American Girl of the Years. And I think that a lot of that is driven by how she's dressed. I think she's dressed much more like a college kid rather than a child. And I think that that's actually what kids prefer. Kids tend to look up to people older than them rather than people younger than them. Just food for thought, American Girl. And now, the reason why we're here is Summer McKinney. I'm under the assumption that Summer's not going to get an additional release. I think we can kind of all agree that they're stopping doing like the mid-year releases. They haven't really done that for a while. So yeah, I don't anticipate that happening. I think Summer is a very cute doll. I love the Nenea face mold. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. I think she would have looked even cuter if she had freckles. Could you imagine? But I think the problem with Summer McKinney is that, again, she's part of this reactionary era where these outfit choices are outdated. JoJo Siwa-fication was cool 5 years ago. It's not cool anymore. Kids aren't wearing a bunch of rainbow and colorful, glittery things as much anymore. In fact, I feel like it's a common thing that we joke about online about like the sad beige children. Like all parents are like dressing their kids in like beige all the time. But regardless, because rainbow was so cool like 5 years ago, it's not cool now. So kids aren't driven to that. And part of the problem could be that American Girl's way of like creating dolls and creating concepts for the Girl of the Year is just not fast enough anymore. Trends for kids are cycling through pretty fast, and they're clearly having a hard time staying on top of it. And so I think that they really need to move away from, trying to be on trend and moving more towards timeless pieces. Like if Summer had a rainbow top with a pair of jeans and a pair of like white Vans or white Converse or something, that would be much more appealing than what she's in now. and would age much better, I think would be more appealing. So if they really wanted the rainbow look, like you could still integrate rainbows in a more tasteful way that doesn't seem cringe. She also has a much smaller collection, and I don't think that this is a bad thing. I actually think it's a really good thing. I think it reduces a lot of waste because these big ticket items are really hard to sell. I think we need to be extremely honest with ourselves and look at how the economy is and reflect on how many people actually have money to spend to pay full price on those things. Not clearance, not on sale. Like, American Girl isn't going to make money off of everyone buying things on sale. Like, they need to sell a certain amount of things full price. And people just don't have that kind of disposable income anymore. So they have to kind of go back to these earlier roots. And let's reflect back. In my opinion, that trend-setting era was one of the best. And they had much smaller collections. And so we can look back on that and think about what worked and stick with that. I think that there's potential here, but I think that, the JoJo Siwa of it all is kind of a miss. And yeah, I just think that the whole girl boss entrepreneur thing is also a miss. Again, that was really cool 10 years ago. It's not so cool anymore. So I think that they really need to try and not, latch on to some sound bites and trends of things from online and actually come up with more well thought out, more well-rounded characters and go back to their roots of character building. That's why people fell in love with these characters, is because of how real they felt. This feels sterile. It just feels very lab created, and I think that a lot of these in this era feel that way. Again, not all of them, but a lot of them feel that way. And so, yeah, I think that they need to do some more soul searching. So kind of in summary, I don't think her collection has more plastic than before. I don't think that she necessarily is an outlier in terms of how young she looks. I think the real problem is one that's been stewing, it's been building, is that American Girl is trying to follow trends instead of creating trends. And they need to turn that around if they want to have longevity as a brand. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the retrospective of American Girl. This was a really long video, so thanks so much if you stayed all the way till the end. Yeah, I posed a lot of questions throughout, this, but I'm also interested to know, what do you want to see out of a Girl of the Year? For me, I'm okay with repetition in the hobbies, but I want them to be really fleshed out and done well. I would love another dance girly, but I want to see a type of dance that we haven't seen before. I would love ballroom dancing. I did ballroom dancing as a kid, so I'm biased in that way, but think of the outfit potential for ballroom dancing, and with how popular things like Dancing with the Stars is now and different dancers on TikTok and stuff like that, hello, there's so much potential for interesting children. Beach is always a safe one for them, but I'm maybe let's be a little bit more creative with what, specifically on the beach they're doing. Travel, I think, is also a great option. We haven't seen a Girl of the Year that travels to Asia. That would be cool. Or to Africa. We've just had Europe and Central America and Australia, right? Let's do South America too. There's so much of the world that Girl of the Year has not explored. Would love to see that. Especially if it was a story of, a Girl of the Year going to go visit her family in another culture or in another country, and we get to experience that culture through the Girl of the Year. That would be a lot of fun. Yeah, so much potential. I feel like I could make a whole nother video on designing my perfect Girl of the Year, and maybe I will do that. We'll see. But new Girl of the Year, name has already been leaked, so let's just hope that they've maybe learned their lesson from this past era and that we can start a new era, maybe a renaissance of the Girl of the Year. Fingers crossed. Anyways, thanks again so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.